Respected my colleague minister, Sri Jayantamalla Burua, respected advisor to the Government of Assam Education Department, Dr. Noni Gopal Mohanto, respected Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General of AIU, Professor S.P. Singh, Vice-Chancellor of the Assam Royal Global University, Binay Kumar Pathak, Vice President of AIU, Atul Kothari ji, National Secretary, Shiksha Sanskriti Utthan Nyas, Dr. G.D. Sharma, President of AIU and VC of USTM, Rohit Singh ji and other dignitaries, Vice-Chancellors from different universities of the Eastern Zone. First of all, I welcome you all to the state of Assam and thank Association of Indian Universities for holding this crucial session on Indian knowledge system as a part of implementation of the NEP 2020 at a place in Guwahati. And I hope this two-day session will enrich our knowledge, our understanding of the NEP, and particularly the chapter of implementing the Indian knowledge system. Normally, I am comfortable speaking in English in such meetings, but today I would like to try to speak in Hindi, in Bharatiya language. And I'm feeling encouraged by my colleague Jayantamalla Burua ji. सबको हार्दिक स्वागत करते हुए मैं कुछ हिंदी में बोलने का कोशिश मैं करता हूँ. भूल तो जरूर होगा, लेकिन उसके लिए मेरा अफसोस नहीं है कि क्योंकि औपचारिक या संस्थागत ज्ञान शिक्षा हिंदी में मुझे प्राप्त नहीं हुआ. अच्छा, फिर भी ये भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा का ऊपर एक सभा है, तो इसमें भारतीय भाषा में बोलना मैं बहुत ज़रूरी समझता हूँ. बुलेट पॉइंट में मैं उसमें कुछ बातें आप लोगों का सामने रखता हूँ. NEP 2020 एक ब्रॉड फ्रेमवर्क है, ये कोई रिजिड फ्रेमवर्क नहीं है. ये NEP 2020 को हम लोग और इसको समृद्ध करने का ज़रूरत है, इसको और एनरिच करने का ज़रूरत है. इसका जो प्रयोग करने जब हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे, प्रयोग करने का जो आगे बढ़ेंगे तो बहुत सारे बातें आएंगे, तो उसका ऊपर चर्चा होना चाहिए. हर यूनिवर्सिटी में उसका चर्चा होना चाहिए. बहुत सारे बातें अभी यहाँ रखे गए हैं जो my former speakers, they have already enlightened about the भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा. जो बात मैं आप लोगों का सामने रखना चाहता हूँ वो है भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा. ये वेद का जो युग है वहाँ तक सीमित नहीं है, ये संस्कृत भाषा तक सीमित नहीं है. हमारे वेद पुराण शास्त्रों ये ज्ञान का बहुत बड़ा भंडार है. लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा भंडार जो है, जो प्री वैदिक हम लोगों का नॉलेज सिस्टम है, जो नॉन संस्कृत नॉलेज सिस्टम है. यहाँ के जो आदिवासी लोग हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट का जो जनजाति लोग हैं, इन जनजाति लोगों का अपना फिलॉसफी है, उन लोगों का अपना हिस्ट्री है. वो लिखित रूप में नहीं है, लेकिन ऑरल हिस्ट्री उन लोगों का पास है. उन लोगों का पास आज नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जितने सारे भाषाएं हैं उसको गिना नहीं जा सकता. Even in a state like Assam, we have more than 100 languages. और लैंग्वेज का मतलब होता है वो एक नॉलेज का, ज्ञान का भंडार, और वो पौराणिक ज्ञान है. तो उसका ऊपर चर्चा जितना होना चाहिए था उतना चर्चा नहीं हो रहा है. अभी जो तिब्बतो चाइनीज लैंग्वेज है, तिब्बतो बर्मन जो लैंग्वेज है, उस लैंग्वेज का सबसे बड़ा स्टडी सेंटर कहाँ है? उसका ऊपर सबसे ज़्यादा रिसर्च कहाँ हो रहा है? वो भारत में नहीं हो रहा है, वो कोई नॉर्वे में हो रहा है, स्वीडन में हो रहा है। लेकिन उसका ऊपर वो जो हमारे यहाँ नॉर्थ ईस्ट में द तिब्बतो बर्मन तिब्बतो चाइनीज जो लैंग्वेज रिसोर्सेस है, उस लैंग्वेज रिसोर्स में बहुत सारे भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा है। उस ज्ञान परंपरा को का भी चर्चा होना चाहिए। हमारे जो ओरल हिस्ट्री है, वो ओरल हिस्ट्री में बहुत सारे ज्ञान परंपरा है, उसका भी चर्चा होना चाहिए। और उसको चर्चा करके हमारे स्कूल में, कॉलेजों में उसका प्रयोग कैसे किया जा सकता है। जयंत मल्ल बरुआ ने जो सुझाव दिया है कि हम लोग एक आदमी को डिग्री दे दिया, he has been educated, he has been declared qualified to be an engineer, but he has not been taught about the society, about the responsibility towards the country, responsibility of सेवा। सेवा उसको सिखाया नहीं गया है कि ये धरती के लिए तुम्हारा दायित्व है, ये कंट्री के लिए, ये देश के लिए, ये समाज के लिए जो दायित्व है वो सिखाया नहीं गया है। शर्मा ने बताया था कि वेस्टर्न सोसाइटी, इट इज एन इंडिविजुअल सोसाइटी, individualistic society, whereas our society is a community-based society. One scholar, if I recall her name, she is Sina Iyengar, she had written a popular book, The Art of Choosing. बहुत सारे एयरपोर्ट में किताब वो स्टॉल्स में दिखाई देता है, एक एप्पल है, एक ऑरेंज है। That book is The Art of Choosing. That book is all about the differences of the Western society and our Oriental society. Our Oriental society is a community-based society. So, without educating our children about the community responsibilities, we cannot have the well-rounded human being, well-rounded educated person who will contribute to the country, who will contribute to the society, who will contribute to the community. तो एजुकेशन का अर्थ ये होना चाहिए कि सिर्फ डिग्री देना, सिर्फ सर्टिफिकेट देना, वहाँ तक सीमित नहीं होना चाहिए। अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कुछ लक्ष्य रखा है हमारे सामने। ये लक्ष्य इसीलिए रखा गया है, अभी जो बातें हो रहा है, we are talking so much about the demographic dividend, but we all should remember that demographic dividend, it has an expiry date. It has an expiry date, and that is why time is limited. The Prime Minister has set goals to make India a Viksit Desh, a developed nation, a developed country, to double the income of the farmers. ये लक्ष्य रखा गया है। ये लक्ष्य रखा गया है कि भारत विश्व गुरु होगा। ये लक्ष्य रखा गया है कि भारत विश्व का एक बहुत बड़ा इकोनॉमी होगा। एक लक्ष्य रखा गया है कि आवर इकोनॉमी विल बी ए $5 trillion इकोनॉमी। Now how to achieve these targets? These targets are to be achieved, and we have the benefit of demographic dividends. But how to utilize that demographic dividends? Now, when I talk to some of my higher education colleagues, and when I talked about demographic dividends, they just brushed aside that this is all about the productive force, and we have nothing to do with that. We are mostly concerned with our scholars, research, top-notch research and all. हम लोग हायर एजुकेशन है, हायर एजुकेशन में इसका ज़्यादा रोल नहीं है, इसका रोल स्किल एजुकेशन में ही है। ये हम संपूर्ण गलत चिंता है। ये संपूर्ण गलत चिंता है कि डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड is about definitely the productive force, and higher education has nothing to do with the productive force. It has something to do about the scholars, research and all. ये पूरा गलत चिंता है। हम लोग जब environment का बात करते हैं, when we talk about environment, when we talk about the ecology pyramid, At the top of the economic pyramid, there stays the tiger. And if in a given forest there is tiger, it indicates that that forest is having a good ecological system, good forest system. Tiger is there, that is the proof that there are the deers. When there are the deers, it proves the grassland is healthy. When there are grassland, it proves that there are grassland birds. When there is grassland, it indicates there are nearby wetlands, there are marshland. And when there is wetland and marshland, it indicates that the freshwater aquatic life is very rich. So at the top of the education pyramid, the higher education system is there. Without the layers below the top in the pyramid, higher education alone cannot sustain. It is the responsibility of the higher education to take care of the colleges, to take care of the schools, to take care of the bottom layer of primary education. Otherwise, without these bottom or lower level layers, higher education alone cannot remain floating at a high level. So it is the responsibility of the higher education, of our universities, to take care of the demographic dividend, the productive forces. And accordingly, if we are targeting to become the big economy of the country, of the world, if we are targeting to become a $5 trillion economy, then everyone, all our educational institutions will have to, all our universities shall have to work towards that. Take the benefit. Sharma has very rightfully says, why you look up to the UGC? Why we wait for a UGC circular? All the universities are autonomous. A framework has been given. You can draw the curriculum, you can select the syllabus, you can design the course, you have all the freedom to do. And doing the freedom, utilizing your freedom, you must keep the target fixed that my contribution, my university shall work to make our youth employable, to make the youth entrepreneur, so that they can generate employment, they can contribute towards the economy. So right now I appeal to all the Kulpatis, all the Vice-Chancellors, keep in mind the targets set by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. He is a visionary leader. He has transformed India like anything, and he is going to transform it further. We need to support him. And in order to support him, we are now sitting at a time of redefining the higher education sector. And our target should be, we have the benefit of, we have a large working productive force, how to make them more productive, how to make them employable, how to convert them into successful entrepreneur. Coming to one point, the point was raised that every university should open a Indian knowledge system department. I do not oppose, but I do not support either. My concept is, in every department, every subject, they should incorporate Indian knowledge system into their syllabus, into their curriculum. Otherwise, if we are feeling compelled that this NEP has been given and we are to follow and let us open a department and there will be a few students in that department, Indian knowledge system will remain confined, to only the few. Everyone will not learn about Indian knowledge system. Whereas the objective is everyone, every student, every teacher, we should all know what is Indian knowledge system. We are talking about, we have a history of thousands of years of the civilization. We have a knowledge system of pre-Vedic period, and we should be aware about it. We should be implementing it into our lifestyle. It should be there in every subject, every department. We have our own philosophy. The orientation of learning something, the orientation of teaching something, it should be guided by our value system. It should be guided by our history. It should be guided by our own knowledge system. Otherwise, the Western system will influence us, and once all our students are influenced by the Western individualistic society, we are going to fail. We should, at all times, we should be proud that we are a community-based society. We should be proud that we are different from the Western society. And we should be proud that the community-based society are progressing very well. They are doing very well. We should be proud, we should be aware that the individualistic society of the West, they are now plagued with so many problems of lifestyle, whereas we are not facing those kind of problems. So that community orientation should be given to our students. It should be incorporated into our education system. Universities, they're free, that if they would think of having a specialized department of Indian knowledge system, I'm not opposed to that. But universities should design that our indigenous knowledge system is incorporated, it is instilled, it is included in all our departments, all our subjects. Then only we will be able to design, we will be able to have a successful and different kind of educational system. Yesterday I was with Padma Shri Jadav Payeng, who has been honored by most of the Western countries because of his role on environment, on global warming and climate change. So he was in a hurry. He said that I will have to return to Jorhat tonight itself, because there are some students have come from America to study my forest. So he's now a teacher, he's a professor. So students from America are coming to study the kind of forest he has developed. So I want to point out that because this is Eastern Zone has been entrusted to discuss with the Indian knowledge system, we have a huge knowledge system of indigenous people in protecting, preserving nature, our ecosystem, and we have a large forest cover, and the coexistence with nature, we have a very specialized art, very specialized knowledge of the indigenous tribal people with coexisting with nature. This needs to be documented. This needs to be theorized, and this needs to be taught to every children in our education, so that the question of sustainable development, the question of global warming, the climate change can be adequately addressed. And if we again leave it to a Department of Environmental Science, that it is the responsibility of the Environmental Science Department, then again we will fail. This departmentalism is to be demolished under NEP. Why NEP is talking about multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary education? It is only because of sensitizing every student about everything. They should not be expert on everything or 2-3 multidisciplinary subjects or topic, but they should be aware about it. Whenever I visit some colleges, they come with an application that UGC has given us some direction that we need to open environmental science department. Sir, please sanction a few posts. I asked them, where is that letter to open environmental science department? It is not about opening an environmental science department. It is about sensitizing everyone about the environment. And who will teach that environmental studies paper? It is the general professor, assistant professor, associate professor, whatever may be his or her subject. Why a mathematician cannot be aware about the global environmental threats? Why a professor of Assamese department, why a professor of physics may not or cannot know anything about the global warming? It is mandatory compulsion for every citizen on earth to be aware about global warming, aware about climate change, aware about threat to Mother Earth. Not a few environmental science professors. So like environment science, that every faculty, every teacher of higher education must know, must be aware, must be capable of teaching their students about global warming, climate change, environmental issues. The same way every professor, every faculty, every teacher must be aware, capable of teaching our children about Indian knowledge system. That is the orientation, that is the objective, that I understand the importance of Indian knowledge system in higher education. Am I right or wrong? If any one of you have objection, you may raise your hand. That is my understanding of Indian knowledge system in higher education. It is not going to be a separate domain confined only to a few persons, and don't push it to the persons to the Sanskrit department or the Parsi department like that. Everyone will have to embrace. And that way it is important. I hope we have technical sessions, and this will be very challenging, how in physics, how you are incorporating Indian knowledge system. It will be very challenging how to economics, political science, philosophy, we are going to include the Indian knowledge system. It is not that there will have to be a separate paper, but designing the curriculum, designing the syllabus, that is, I think, important, and this is, I think you all are capable of doing it. आप लोग ये काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये एक मौका है, सुनहरा मौका है आप लोग सबके लिए कि हम ऐसे समय में सर्विस देश के सेवा कर रहे हैं एस कुलपति, जब एनईपी लागू हो रहा है, जब ये नए चिंताएं हमारे बीच आए हैं कि जो भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा को हमारे पाठ्यक्रम में, हमारे शिक्षा में इसको अभी शामिल करने हम लोग जा रहे हैं। ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण समय है, ये मौका है आप लोगों के लिए। आप लोग विद्वान हैं, आप लोग इसमें पारंगत हैं, आप लोग ये काम करके देश को, ये ईस्टर्न जोन में है, यहाँ से ईस्टर्न इंडिया से सारे देश के लिए रास्ता आप लोग निकाल देंगे और इसमें आप लोग सफल रहे, ये कामना करते हुए मैं मेरा भाषण यहीं विराम देता हूँ। धन्यवाद।